also will be able to run backwards and provide some, kite backwards. And Yuan doesn't simply chase a Baxia.
Not only the Baxia, but the Bane in these chokes as well. The deadly catch is a big problem, right? So if you stack up, I could see the Bane Bruno outs being a big problem for Forsaken. That being said, right now when I look at the draft, I'm leaning towards draft alone, right? We take away the nameplates. I'm leaning towards Forsaken just because of the ease of execution. EVOS has to finesse this like insanely well. The moment they slip up, that's when they will start losing the edge.
Yeah, and onto the land of Dawn, we got EVOS SG spawning on blue side, whereas Forsaken will be on the red side. We talked about how Forsaken has the better AoE, wombo combo damage, but EVOS SG, they should try to look to kite backwards, and EVOS SG with the Bane will probably, scale out of control because we've seen how Bane can just go out of control. But Forsaken though, they've got to try to limit that Bane right now.
Kato's moving over to steal the orange buff away. You can notice on the minimap that he's not started on any of his camps. So he's taking one, retreating back and taking two more buffs of his own. So effectively, this forces the jungler for Forsaken on the back foot because he's down one camp.
Yeah, and Forsaken being a Claude needs that farm.
Exactly.
And as compared to YSS, right, it's a very high budget. It takes like, the Demon Hunter Sword, it takes the Golden Staff, for him to actually turn on, and EVOS SG doing that, taking away the camps, trying to slow down Forsaken is hurting Forsaken a lot more.
Yeah, I think it's a bit predictable. Like it seems like EVOS SG has this really good start, right? And how we see the Claude developing is obviously at a slower rate, and for them to hit that power point is going to come a lot later too. Like you want the Golden Rod ASAP, right? When you get denied all these items, it just feels so awful to play Claude.
Yep, and for the Bruno, right, what you can do, you can actually fight from the back all the way to the front, and you've got some like beefy front lines for yourself. You've got the Bane with Deadly Clutch just in case,
and the Baxia as well.
Yeah, Baxia, and you'll also be able to run backwards just in case if anything doesn't go well. And you just want, I feel like what EVOS actually can do, bait out the real world manipulation. That's it. There's a win, and let's just re-engage afterwards.
Yeah, the re-engage after the real manipulation is going to be massive, right? Especially if Claude doesn't hit the items. Like Blazing Duet only does damage if you have items.
Yep.
So one big out down, Claude not in the game. That is the recipe for EVOS, and they've started on the right foot, right? They got some of the ingredients in there. We'll see if they can finish and all the ingredients into the recipe.
Yeah, but in terms of team fights, so Forsaken, I would say, yeah, like what you said earlier, let's take away the nameplates. Let's just look at these, just draft versus draft. Forsaken has the better ultimates, the better
wombo combos, right?
Yeah.
Wombo combo, right? And when you look at wombo combos, it's always, how hard is this to execute? Do we need to coordinate all at the same time? Or is it if one person hits his ult, can we all go? And it's starting to look a bit more like that. Atlas with the Fatal Links, if he connects on that, then we commit. Otherwise, we don't really have to pull the trigger. When we talk about execution, it's the margin of error. The margin of error is the most important thing, and whether the margin of error is big or small is what is gonna, help decide Forsaken's fate.
Yeah, let's now put back the nameplates, right? Looking at both EVOS SG and Forsaken. Forsaken, because of the fact that the wombo combo takes quite a lot of coordination, and Forsaken being the one that's fresh in terms of the esports industry.
That is true.
It's gonna be a little bit hard. Whereas EVOS SG, the way they draft it, it's basically they can all function on their own. And just in case if anything happens, Rafaela will be there for the rescue to kite backwards.
Oh yeah, Holy Baptism is such an insane kite spell. Like it's hard to hit if you're moving forward, but if they're running into you and you just throw it down, they have two options. Either they eat the CC or they just kite away, right? They move out of the way. So it's a win-win for Rafaela trying to kite back, but their composition is designed to do that. I think EVOS SG, the whole team is on the same page, right? We just protect, make sure that the Bruno is comfortable walking up and he's positioning well. That is how we get our damage off. And he's getting off to a good start. He stole the orange buff already.
Yep, and also remember on that point of kiting back was that Baxia is going to leave some world of pain. If Forsaken were to continue chasing down, if you're not disciplined, if you see that, oh, the enemy seems like they're retreating, I feel like it's a little bit of a instinct coming in to just want to chase them down. But I think that's exactly what EVOS SG does, and let's hope that Forsaken has that discipline not to do that.
Yeah, it's a mistake that I think teams that get too overeager, too excited tend to make. It's like they see blood in the water and just leap in, right? They see a weakness and try to jump in. Unbeknownst to them, it's the enemy just regrouping and reorganizing their forces. It's not necessarily a window of weakness, it's them just taking a step back and then re-engaging afterwards. And that's something the top teams do very well.
Yep, and of course, it's really like what we talked about the draft. We already talked about what could go wrong for the side of both EVOS SG and Forsaken. I feel like it's really down. If Forsaken's draft, be it given it to anyone, let's say the arch nemesis RSGSG, this is going to be a very close fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. If this draft, like nameplates, you swapped it out, you
Yep.
put RSGSG on the right side, yep, for sure this is going to be a lot more of a difficult match. But of course, there's some leeway. It's Forsaken, the team that is yet to really win a game.
Yep.
Right? To them as well as the second bottom team, they're all struggling to find their wins.
Yeah, so Forsaken right now, I think they're just trying to push it onto this draft, right? Just hopefully with the one-ball combo, I've got bigger ultimates than you. Basically, it's just a battle of the ultimates coming in for the side. Forsaken, hopefully they can get this one win from EVOS SG. If they do, wow, that's going to be actually very interesting down the line.
Yeah, for them to take a win off EVOS is a statement, right? Whether they can do it is a whole other question now. During this downtime, of course, the players are still trying to sort out the technical difficulties. I do want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, which is, you can see on our screen here, it's a little box containing eye drops from our official eye care partner, Sustain. Now, it's funny because when I came into the studio today, right, I think Eugene and Sophia looked at me like, your eye is super red, dude. And I was like, you know why? It's because I don't have Sustain, right? And if I did have these eye drops, my eyes would be feeling refreshed. It tends to be a problem because we're looking at VOD so much, we're casting games, we're in front of these bright lights. Eyes tend to get tired, right?
Yeah, and also we live in a very dry environment, right? Because it's very hot in Singapore as well, and you know your eyes are very important to be at peak performance.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very hard to actually do anything if your eyes just keep bugging you. In fact, I feel like right now you're really struggling to actually put out. In fact, I myself as well is really kind of struggling because of that dry eyes. But it's really thank God for Sustain for being the Sustain Complete for being the global eye care leader, Alcon, and thank you very much for sponsoring MPL SG in its latest all-in-one eye drop that alleviates all types of dry eye symptoms and provide that protection with just 2 drops per day. And in fact, Hungry Cars, you can just use that 2 drops right now.
I might, but then because I'm wearing glasses, it might be a bit difficult. But here's what I will do. I will promise to use it during the break, and I'll let you guys know my first-hand review about the product and whether Sustain really works for me. I'm an honest guy. Sponsor or not, I will tell the truth, so you guys can trust me on that. I will use it, and I'll give you guys feedback.
Yeah, and of course, I'd like to thank PvP Esports as well, powered by Singtel. PvP Esports is the ultimate regional platform where gaming lives. And of course, you can see that PvP logo shining very bright behind us.
Ta-da.
Yep, all the way at the back. And of course, guided by its core values of passion, sportsmanship, and healthy gaming, PvP Esports seeks to continually grow and grow the regional esports ecosystem through its initiatives and tournaments. In fact, of course, them doing out, MPL SG. So check out their Facebook page or visit pvpesports.gg to find out how you can join out their community events and initiatives.
Yeah, of course, once again on your screen, QR codes, you know the drill.
Yep.
Scan them, follow them, keep up to date. Don't get made fun of by your friends because you don't know the match scores. It happens sometimes. I feel like between the casters, we kind of rag on each other for not keeping updated.
Yeah, and of course, personally, I'm more of an Instagram user myself, so I follow Instagram. And there's a lot of juicy gossips, right? They ask about like the players in their segment breaking their eyes. In fact, there's quite a few details that we got. And in fact, one of them is Dora looking up towards LY4.
Right.
And like what we said about in the first match, before the match started, it's really big shoes to fill.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough one coming in. All that being said and done, we're still waiting for the players to solve the technical, well, not the players to solve, right? But we're waiting for the technical issues to smooth over. Imagine asking the players to solve the issues. That would be crazy. That would be crazy indeed. Oh my goodness. And once more on your screen, the QR codes again for the PvP MPLI arena now. Unfortunately, with COVID-19 making life hard for esports events, PvP has come up with an innovative solution to replicate it, and at least give you guys the experience of being in an event, right? So head over to the PvP MPLI arena. You can head over by scanning the QR code on your screen and check out, my face, Abstract's face, and all the other fixings in the arena.
Yeah, and not only that, not only is just, Abstract and Hungry Cars faces, and in fact, you get this like small little build-up as well.
Oh yeah.
It's actually kind of cute. And
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
And there's another point of it that I would like to feature is that you actually get to see like a 3D mock-up of the level 1.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, you get to go. We always show it to you guys, right? All the way at the bottom side that you get to like see the players getting in place for just getting ready for the game. And not only that, there's also videos like of each and every team, like talk about their teammate,
Crazy, man.
and it's just very interesting. And all that you can watch is just. Even your mobile phones can actually watch it, so
you can actually, because I went to check the other day, I was looking at the match scores, and I got redirected. Like, I clicked it, and like, boom, it just opened up on my mobile phone. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty insane, you know? I didn't think it was going to work on mobile because it's so like, comprehensive and immersive that you'd think that your phone wouldn't be able to handle it.
Same.
But you know what? God bless.
Yeah, and the best part is, right, usually in these kind of solutions, right, when you click on it, they will redirect you to a YouTube link, but this one doesn't. You watch the video right on your phone, right in that window.
Yep, players still waiting, we're still waiting on the technical issues to be resolved, and we should be going in soon. One final shout out, of course, would be for, oh, hold on. Shoutouts have to wait because we're going back into game, and I'm sure you guys just want to watch the action instead. So EVOS SG right now, after taking away the orange buff, you could see on your screen, it's going to be Potato just retreating back into his own jungle, farming it up. Forsaken will find out that the buff has been stolen and will be a little bit sad, but can't really do anything about it as we see a journey in from JPL.
Yep, JPL will be trying to be annoying against Forsaken right there because, interrupting Kai will be extremely important for the side of EVOS SG, and every time that Forsaken actually is getting delayed, it means like half minute actually getting delayed. But hold on a second there, EVOS picking up a lot of damage.
Okay, so tell a lie, the orange buff wasn't stolen, it was just the camp inside it, so it's not the worst thing in the world for EVOS SG. And once again, that was just an assumption I made based on the movements on the map, but turns out that EVOS, it was just a quick hit and run, they stole the camp, they backed off. Still a small win for EVOS, and in the end, Forsaken still keep their buff. So at the end of it, it's a goal lead for EVOS SG.
Yeah, and it's just, EVOS SG reading the map very well, Forsaken, and constantly scouting out where Kai is. Kai, as of Claude, usually will farm all the way, I would say, 6 minutes or even more, just to get the crucial 2 items, but it is JPL that's going to jump on top of Flash, but okay. But Bao comes in with just a bit of extended mode, but then will be able to put up some damage on top of JPL, but it is Potato that will be securing that first turtle.
Yeah, well, all the action was going on in the mid lane. Potato was like, you guys can fight, I'm going to take the objective, and that is smart because now they can make the rotation bot and potentially dive onto double here as they go on in.
Ooh, girl with the ultimate, JPL jumping on top of double at the same time. It is a 4-member gang on top of double. Double forced to actually use that ultimate to just stay alive, but that won't be necessary as it went down.
See, Consecration is an annoying ult, but it's not good enough to get you out of a 4-man dive, and now they just have to watch as this star is going to take a beating here. Should potentially fall unless they decide to come in and save this. Bao is jumping in.
Ooh, Bao jumping on top in, but then EVOS SG disengaged. They're really disciplined at that, while EVOC tries to cut their wave at the top side, but it is still Bane left unattended, and he's going to farm up into that scary late game Bane.
So 3 minutes in, there's 1,000 plus goal lead on EVOS SG. Items coming also, you can see the clock completed on Pokemon, so this is going to be a bit more AP style once the spell damage as opposed to, the physical.
Okay, girl jumping on top. I think Bao actually realizes the fact, but Fatalix will be able to drag 2 members of EVOS SG side right underneath the turret. The real world manipulation, dishing out the damage, but unable to secure any form of kills right now. Forsaken, they're really behind in terms of their gold, really behind in terms of their items. They need to do something right now.
That's a small taste of the wombo combo that we were, prepared to expect in these massive team fights, because there was just a Fatal Links on the way out and a real manipulation to see if we can score any lucky kills.
Yeah, and EVOC just cutting the wave as much as possible. And they're gonna get responded by the side of EVOS SG. Stop right in the hill. Deadly Catch will be there to secure that kill as well. It's like 2 kills in the pocket at less than 4 minutes. Pokemon really wanting more, but Forsaken, they just have to back away.
They're looking to make the movements onto the bottom side of the map, right? Soup is left completely unchecked to this farm, and in this lane, it's going to be a wet noodle fight, right? Between Esmeralda and Uranus. You don't expect anyone to die barring a huge misplay.
But I feel like right now, what EVOS SG did to push up EVOS out of the jungle means that they will be able to secure that turtle. JPL is just providing so much vision over to their side, and EVOS will get almost caught out. Thank goodness, because Benedetta is super slippery. But we got to talk about the bottom side, right? You know, you talk about wet noodle, and immediately after you said wet noodle, you see a girl getting chunked down, and that's the power of Uranus, right? Just out of nowhere, dishes out quite a lot of damage.
It's the stacks of the Ionic Edges. We see the real manipulation come out. They actually catch him.
Fatal Links coming down at the same time, but it is a very good angle that Forsaken trying to do. Potato, EVOS SG, like what you said, what we said earlier on Kite's back, but Girl still chasing down. Remember what we talked about. JPL should be the one that is, you know, a wild horse, but it is Girl that wants the kill.
So right now, Flash doesn't have enough items, doesn't have enough damage to make the real manipulation really hurt, right? He also has to build up the stacks of the passive to make it count. And these, you know, wombo combo engages, I'm going to put air quotes on that because it's not the full combo. It's only a small piece of what Forsaken could be doing. They need to slowly farm up and get the items onto Flash before it starts to hurt.
Yeah, and the first turret of the game will fall at the bottom side. EVOS SG, but not their full team right here. Kai finally joined in the fight, but not enough damage as of now. It's really that last ingredient, which is Kai, in order for Forsaken to actually take any form, do any form of damage against EVOS SG.
Lead once again being built up. It's only 2 kills, but all of these leads are being taken from the structures as well as the farm on the map, as we can see items being completed on a couple of members. Of course, the clock was mentioned earlier, but no big core items on the clock yet, apart from the Demon Hunter's Roll, which is a bit iffy.
Yeah, double actually pick up. Oh, Flicker also same time, but I feel like it's the Purify going in for swoop. Real world manipulation from afar. Kai coming in with the Blazing Duet as well. Will not able to do anything, but the backline of Forsaken will get sniped down by the side of Girl. Girl barely survived with, thank goodness for Swoop's healing as well. JPL jumping in for the re-engage. Deadly catch as well, Flash. But Swoop, won't be able to do any form of damage from the side of EVOS SG.
That's a good dive coming in now, extending the kill lead to 5-0. This gold lead also going up another 4K. EVOS, they know the window to pounce and they punish Forsaken. You know, the items being complete, only 1 core item on Claude, but he's starting to gear up soon. And EVOS want to control the map, want to take down the structure, so they limit the amount of farm he can collect from the map.
Yeah, EVOS forced to use the ultimate once again to get away from the gang at the top side by EVOS SG, but you know, let's talk about the carries from both sides, right? EVOS SG, Potato, never really joined that team fight. Kai tried to join that team fight, but unfortunately, Blazing Duet unable to deal any much damage, significant damage, mind you, over the side of EVOS SG.
It's a 1-item claw, so I don't know how much damage that Blazing Duet's gonna do, but they have to be careful. They're trying to defend this mid-tier 1 as much as they can, because the moment that goes down, the jungle is lost to them. They will have to back off a bound, and now Girl trying to push in and make the pressure felt. Forsaken, they're always teetering on this thin line. If they overextend, they're gonna get caught.
Oh, that's a nice Fatal Links. Will be able to drag JPL right from the turtle. And there you go, the one more combo coming out from the side of Forsaken at the same time. Blazing Duet finally picks up 1-2 kills for their side, but here comes Pokemon as well. We'll be able to clear off Kai. Yes, Forsaken gets 2 kills, but Kai should not be dead. Once that Claw is dead, no more farm for him.
Very unfortunate there that he was down, and my goodness, if he stayed alive, there would have been like a lot more value. Of course, 60 seconds onto the next big objective. Pokemon's just farming the side lanes, just setting it up right. So it forces someone to respond here while they keep the lane pushed up, and they can eventually move down for the objective. Mid-tier 1, of course, the most important objective right now for Forsaken. As long as that turret stays alive, they can still keep playing around this general vicinity, not allowing EVOS into the jungle for free.
Yeah, EVOS is constantly overextending just a little bit, where JPL will find Bao and Kai at the top side of Forsaken side of the map. But you can see how EVOS SG is just really securing that solid dominant position at the top side, whereas Double is forced to rush out to help. But I feel like that Uranus should be better at the bottom side, in fact.
And JPL is just being a nuisance. They're going to get pulled in. This is bad.
Yeah, that's the one more combo coming in. But finally, we'll be able to drag 2 members, but it is Pokemon that is just running out of control on the side of Forsaken backline, whereas we'll be able to secure 2 kills at the same time. Pokemon still being a nuisance. EVOS jumping on top. Kai forced to back away, but Forsaken, they didn't really get the memo, as they will lose EVOS again.
You're going to get the turtle to EVOS SG claim a big lead now. They started the fight off well, and hopefully we can see in a replay why it all went wrong, right? In that replay later on, if we do get it, notice that Forsaken were completely split when the wombo combo came out.
That's right. And it's just really hard, right? Because right now, because of that team fight, Forsaken lost that mid lane turret. And if you notice, over the side of Forsaken, three out of their outer turrets went down. EVOS SG, they tried to play the side lanes. They tried to hammer as much as possible, but then they realized, they seized the opportunity that Forsaken kind of misplayed. They split that two fights like in a very weird angle,
Right.
and EVOS SG took that mid lane.
Oh, Potato is big now. 2-1-4 just completed the endless battle as we say. Take a look at this replay. So the wombo combo starts perfectly. They pull him in, but notice how they suddenly kite down to focus JPL, which is a weird question. Like, why go for the tank? Why not finish up everyone in front? And the members you need to kill are Potato, which did die, Swoop, and Girl. No one was focusing them. Everyone was going on Pokemon as well as JPL. And those are the tanks. That makes no sense.
Yeah, and also you gotta admit, Pokemon coming in for a very good flank at the same time, sending that Likash down, but Bao coming in. But EVOS SG was the one who was able to secure that Lord, double on full retreat. The football coming in, but JPL is a one-man army. Pokemon with the Flicker jumping in will be able to pick up double as well. Real world manipulation, zoning EVOS SG out to limit that damage. EVOS SG took one Lord and also took two members from Forsaken.
So what this tells me right now, when you look at Forsaken execute these wombo combos, right? Its margin of error is very small, but they're not on the right page. They press the buttons correctly, but they're not focusing the right people. And that turns out to be, you know, the misfortune of their composition.
Yeah, and remember what we talked about. Forsaken, they need that team communication to be able to pull off, you know, those wombo combo team fight. Whereas EVOS SG, they can act on their own. You can see how Pokemon coming in from the flank, just cast the deadly catch and go off as we see EVOS SG hammering on top of that. JPL just being so annoying right now at the back line. Pokemon using that catch will be able to zone members, but Kai with the Blazing Duet will be able to not deal enough damage, unfortunately, as Girl picks up that mega kill. The members of Forsaken goes down one by one as EVOS SG took two turrets. They potentially could look at the third, but it is the core that's going to get threatened by the sake of EVOS SG.
EVOS is trying to clear out the wave, but he's going to get killed off. Manages to make it back to base with the eye for an eye, but at the end, it's going to be EVOS that cleans up game one. The waves trickled in, EVOS make short work of that push, and that is game one going their way.
Yeah, and it's just really hard, right? You know, Forsaken, I would say that critical team fight happened in the mid lane, the first tier mid lane tier. Well, with the Bauman, you can wave clear as well. You can potentially use that Bauman to cut the waves. There's a period of time where you use Bauman to cut the waves. Exactly what Uranus does.
His ult is pretty nutty in conjunction with like Yin Yang Overturn too, right? If you put them all in, he hits like the true counter there. It's like GG, well played.
Yep, and that's potentially a big wipe up. But you gotta admit, that Bauman going in will be there to act as a meat shield for that Bruno. So Forsaken, they're throwing all their cards into Kai with that Bruno, but all eyes upon Forsaken and EVOS SG. Bao leading that charge once again, injected on top of that. Flicker will be used so early on by the side of EVOS SG as Bao escapes with a silver of health.
Okay, so they will be sending the Baxia against the Cho here, and Balmont against Reynos. Now the flexibility of the composition is kind of interesting because now that they set it as such, you can see that Pokemon's taking a bit of pressure early on.
Yeah, and you know, that's the Matilda power spike. It's at level 1. That first skill does a lot of damage in terms of raw numbers, and it kind of reset that Bruno, right? Bruno hasn't actually cleared a single camp, just like, whereas that Granger is already moving on only bit by bit.
Pokemon, he got out because the ejector pulled double back in. If I'm not wrong, there was a misplayed ejector coming in from Bao there.
Okay, Bao will be able to find JPL, ejector to, you know, just push people to safety, but that means that your ejector is on cooldown, so no much picking off coming up from the side of Forsaken. That Bruno is going to have a very tough time to farm up, whereas that Granger is already moving on to that orange buff already.
That's so unlucky. There would have been a kill onto Pokemon if they didn't eject it wrongly, right? And just to let our viewers know also, it is a Pokemon show instead of JPL, so
it's basically what EVOS SG, right? Not only just mind-boggling the side of Forsaken.
It's dark technology. This is the dark technology for EVOS SG.
Yeah, and it's something that, you know, this shows how EVOS SG is really comfortable with whatever they pick, right? And Forsaken, they are now not only just behind in terms of that gold, behind in that AXP. You can see how Grangers has already cleared 3 camps before that technical pause. But then Forsaken, Bruno is just struggling to put down that orange buff because Matilda is constantly evading. Jawhead is running around like trying to look for pickoffs, but then will be unfortunately injecting their own teammates away. Yeah. But then you don't save the ejector to push the members of EVOS SG out.
So I would have been okay with the roaming Baxia at the Jawhead in lane just because purely off the virtue of being in solo lane or silent lane, you get more levels, right? This Jawhead is still level 1. he's not adding a lot of value to his team right now, right? He needs the level 2, level 3, the smart missiles come in, then he adds the additional damage, so it's tough. And now Kai on this Bruno is going to get shoved away by the Uranus.
Yeah, oh wow, this finally ejected and looking for, as Girl takes quite a bit of damage, the ultimate coming in a little bit late, but it is Bao that went down for the first blood.
Consecration is an annoying ability that keeps him safe, and Girl on the Uranus will survive and back off. This newbie, this newcomer, plug and play looking perfect so far on EVOS SG.
Yeah, and not only that, EVOS SG actually took away, but okay, good ultimate coming out from the side of Pokemon, but won't be able to secure that deal, but the damage has been done. Forsaken's jungle is gonna get trampled by the side of EVOS SG.
2 minutes in, 1.5k goal lead picked up by EVOS SG. They are really not playing with their food today, and they're just looking for all the objectives that they can find, you know, stealing away whatever camp they have. And look at what Guro's doing, right? He's going aggro on the camp because he wants to kick his stacks down.
Yep. So just to heal, right? Basically, you don't really need to go back to heal.
As long as you're in combat, the Radiance stacks are maintained up, so you're always going to be healing. Me on the top side of the map, you can see Matilda jumping in for a kill already.
The top side at the same time, EVOS looking very low. Counter-Strike won't be able to do anything as Potato will take down that Bauman without a doubt. Forsaken tried to do the same thing at the bottom side. They're trying to look for that trade, but EVOS SG is the one that pulled that trigger. Oh, Pokemon taking a bit of too much damage. Will be able to get out of there safely.
Now the group coming from EVOS, as they like to push out the mid first before they prepare for the next objective.
They actually took down
That's true,
Turtle, right? At the top side, EVOS SG looking very ahead in terms of that gold lead. Double will be able to hammer on top of JPL from the side. Real world manipulation just to zone out the members of BAO.
The next objective should have been a heavy invade into the bottom half of the jungle and dive the Baxia so they can get bot tier 1. Girl here left completely alone on the top side is fine. Like, this is how you should be playing your game. Proxy farming and making it such that they need 2 or 3 members to come to you if they want to kill you.
Yeah, and don't forget, that Bruno is going to take a bit of time to come online. Bao will be able to eject Girl right on the wave and will be able to get out in safety. But then, you know, that Bruno is going to be behind right in terms of that farm. You can see that in that gold lead, but the damage is not there. Oh, okay. Good damage.
Again, you know, Girl on this Uranus still proxy farming. They need to move towards the jungle and make something happen, right? Potentially find a pick or push your advantage, because right now it's like close to 3k. Turtle is going to be spawning soon. If they can get a kill, the game is pretty much over if they find a kill in the objective here.
Yeah, EVOS SG is just actually setting it up in the bush to wait, right? As the top side, the Turtle will be spawning at the top side. Forsaken, members of Forsaken kind of going to respond towards that Uranus, but you know, not much damage coming out from Kai as of yet. Bauman will try to do the same, but as Flash goes down, Potato with a Rhapsody, they're just saying hi once again, and they take one and they get out.
They didn't even have to commit the Circling Eagle for that, and Pokemon on this Cho. We all know what Cho is like in your pub games, right? Unless you have hard lockdown, it doesn't really matter. EVOS should not be fighting this. Like, he does not come out of it.
Yep, as EVOS SG members will be Eagle. Hey, okay, not even gonna use their ultimate, just gonna be saving up, just in case as the damage coming out from Matilda and Girl as well. Counter-Strike, okay, this is where the Eagle Descent come in as well, as the member, that poor dude will go down at the top side.
3k goal lead now for EVOS SG. They're making all the right plays, and now they could go on to Flash, but Bao here with the unstoppable force onto JPL, pulls it back in.
Oh, JPL get ejected right underneath the turret, but that's the flame shot coming out from Flash, taking him down. JPL just a bit out of position.
I loved his thought process. He was like, I think I can go in for this kill, and then he sees the unstoppable force. He's like, nope, 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 nope. That was when he knew he messed up.
Yeah, at that moment he knew he messed up. But the endless battle going in for the side of
very early, jeez.
The amount of wave cutting coming out, action coming outside for Forsaken, they don't really need. Oh, that's one after missing 2. Bao will be able to look for free hugs to get that, you know, bonus movement speed and get out of there.
She uses the Flicker 2 to get out, so that's an important battle spell that will fall. Without that particular battle spell, it's hard to get onto the backline with Unstoppable Force, so should be noted that without the Flicker, it's tough.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Double will get focused now, Circling Vigo. The ultimates, 2, will be used on top of Double as he will go down at the bottom side. But let's talk about that Uranus, right? Cutting the waves, Bauman does not do the same attack. Well, okay, good damage.
He has the Consecration. If they want to dive it, they could. Like, the only thing stopping them is how many people are behind this guy. How many people are sitting and lying in wait, right? EVOS are playing so far up that they're looking to make the dive happen past the mid tier 1, tier 2s.
Wait, can we just double check, right? Daryl, just double check whether Girl has actually lane at all.
Well, Girl has been proxy farming, so if your definition of lane is that, is okay, they're gonna dive. And the flame, nope, that's another kill.
Yep, and Zagger will be raining down the lane, the real world manipulation in between. He's probably finding a very sweet spot between those two turrets and just, you know, landing fire and hell oversight of the lineup of Forsaken.
If they can sneak away this turret, that would be quite funny, right? Because you can see that EVOS is like way past enemy lines. He's looking to find something, but if he starts the turret here, I feel like it's too obvious, so maybe look for a camp or two.
Don't think that would happen actually, because I don't know. You see how EVOS SG, they're really far ahead in terms of the damage, and BOD will be picked up by Potato already. As EVOC might look for this assassination. Maybe EVOC is lying the way, not for that turtle, but for Potato.
Might be. Oh, the true counter steal. This guy's a genius. This guy's a genius.
Big brain moment for a moment, but EVOC will get focused down, unfortunately, that turtle. But that hit coming up on top of EVOC, on top of Bao, will go down, unfortunately. 2 members just for that. I would say that's a very good one, all right?
I mean, you take what you can get, right? And a double kill for Pokemon should wrap this game up. 8 minutes in EVOS SG. They don't really have the wave just yet. Looking to dot the I's, cross the T's, double gets back to the fountain to heal up. He's still spinning, he's activated the Tortoise for poise, but right now I think EVOS SG just need to regroup, wait for the minions to end this one off.
Yeah, I feel like EVOS SG right now, right, they can use that Uranus to basically tank and Revitalize being popped by the side of Forsaken. Core, a quarter damage?
He still has the Consecration, right? So EVOC leaping in with the spin to win, but no wins will be found here today. It's EVOS SG, they're just regrouping, they're looking for Pokemon to rejoin them. Now he's like a ways away from them on the map, so they're calling for the brother to come.
Yeah, and by the side of EVOS SG, right, they're really, you know, pushing in the ways out in the face of Forsaken. The core is super exposed in the mid lane. EVOS SG this time around will more manipulation going in. They plug and play a new member from the side of Dagger, and it's actually working out. EVOC trying to make the dream work at the backside, but won't be able to do it. Circling Eagle finds Flash, will be able to knock it out. Flicker will be used by the side of EVOC. Kai jumping in, the football player, as we'll be able to push EVOS SG out for the base as for now, but for the side of Forsaken, right, those turrets are going to get a punishment.
So Forsaken actually still have a lot of the big ultimates. Unstoppable Force and Yin Yang Overturn is important. The problem is the front line, right? They don't have anything to get into the back line. Even if, you know, Bao decides to, you know, yeet his way forward into the back line, he's gonna die. Like, no one can follow up with you.
Yeah, and remember what we talked about, right? Forsaken in the early game, Kai is quite stunted in terms of that gold. But let's talk about that gold lead. 12k gold lead in 9 minutes. EVOS SG, they're probably going to look at a very fast game right now, but fortunately, I feel like Potato is going up for that, to take that Lord to get more pushing power.
They just need that to break the base. I think the wave clear, because they have the Kagura and the Bruno, is still somewhat obnoxious. Like
the Bauman as well.
Yeah, Bauman as well, right? It's very solid ways to clear the wave, so that's why they can still hold on.
Yeah, but Girl is just healing. Look at those green numbers. Ooh. He's full health.
He's just sitting there and they're like, please attack me. Try to attack me. Walk up and hit me, because the Ionic Edge is actually doing decent damage against them and he's gonna heal up in the end.
How many times we see like Girl actually taking damage and then he just sits there to just heal up? But as, EVOC will be able to find JPL. JPL running away. Girl is just being a nuisance as well. As EVOC goes down, that's Sonata coming up from downtown, but EVOS SG just steamrolling all over the side of Forsaken. Kai is unfortunately the only survivor, the only person to defend immediately right now as Flash gets caught out.
Dude, I love how JPL still has his ult. He's like, nah, I don't even need this right now. My team is just gonna end you, and if we want, we can dive Kai right now. Is he gonna use the Circling Eagle? Oh, he's gonna dive the turret? No! The Crystal goes down. No chance for JPL to get in the backline and clean it off. It's gonna be game 2 for EVOS SG in the match.
Yeah, and EVOS SG will be able to actually secure the series. I would say, it's very obvious, right? And in fact, it's a very fast timer, and both of these games actually ended before that. Right.